Max Gawn is joining us in studio. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How
So
exciting
nice
is this?
to see you.
Max, thanks very much for coming in. I appreciate it. Like, we've been talking to Daisy about the fact that he's just had a reunion,
Yes.
like a little bit delayed, 4 years after it was meant to be the 10-year reunion, but said that they've been celebrating from 5 years in. They just have a reunion every year now. They have a celebration. Obviously, very painful for me as a Bulldogs fan, but you've got a premiership.
Yep.
When do you start having the reunions for the premiership?
Well, technically, I mean, if you look at our performance since the grand final, we've been going since.
A literal grand final hangover.
We've had a 3-year granny hang. No, look, I'm excited. I'm presuming 5 year will be our first. Is 5 year the first one? I'm new to
that's
this.
sort of 10's historically what you did, but we got to 5 and said why not, and then did it every year since. And I think that's a good model going forward.
So I think when you first start to get a few retired players, we haven't really got that yet. We've got Michael Hibberd, who will lead the charge, but he is our first sort of retirement. So I think when you get a few more people over the other side of the fence, the reunions might start. But at the moment, everyone's still playing, so it'd be pretty hard to organise it.
We spoke to you on Friday on the rush hour, and you had a moon boot on. You were declaring that you'll be back in a week, where the club was saying 2 to 3. You've strutted in here this morning wearing no moon boot. This is good news. Melbourne fans, get excited.
Yeah. I'm in that much pain. I should be wearing a moon boot. No, look, it's going well. It's a hairline fracture in the ankle, but also you could just say it's a badly rolled ankle. And in footy these days, you actually rolled ankles. You're almost told you should get up, like you spend the week, and so to have 1 week out of a rolled ankle is already in my head going, that's a lot. Like I've done a fair bit to do it. So, but the doctors originally said 2 to 3. So if it's 2 to 3, that is also a win. Just make sure it's not 4. And it's day by day. I'll run today, see how I go, see how I pull up tomorrow, maybe run again Wednesday, and then if I get picked.
Is there
If you get picked.
Is there some concern that you're not required player?
Well, I mean, Draper certainly looked like taking the game away from us in the first quarter, and then I made some moves up in the box.
Oh yeah,
I did. I put my coach's hat on.
Nice.
I put Jacob Van Rooyen into the ruck, which our forwards coach wasn't over the moon with, because Jacob Van Rooyen's our best forward as well. No, the combination of Harry Petty and Jacob Van Rooyen eventually seemed like they got Draper tired and was able to control him a little bit more. He's still one of the best players on the ground, Draper, but I felt like those two boys were able to put the game in our way.
Well, you got Freo this weekend, and of course, ruck isn't their strength at all.
No, how many they've got? They've got about 7, don't they? They're playing a lot of rucks. Obviously, Luke, who's in Premiership, he'll be one of the unique guys who's still playing for another team that rocks up to the Premiership reunion. And Sean Darcy, I think, will be back from concussion. I think it's on 14 days or something. I should know that. Obviously, I'm not really focused on Freo yet. I will be if I run well today, but it's a tough challenge, those two rucks.
You found a way to win, though, which is a real positive. We're talking about how even the competition is, and Essendon were in good form, sitting third on the ladder when you came up against them. Good enough to find a way to win.
Yeah, and when I got up into the box at about 10 minutes before the game, had a block of chocolate, which was great.
What's your go-to
like
chocolate?
a whole block?
Yeah, I shared it with one of the coaches had one piece and I had the other 22. But
Fruit and nut?
no, it was breakaway.
Oh,
How do you
the
feel
biscuit
about
in
a
the middle.
breakaway?
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah?
It was like a
Caramel?
Kit Kat
Yeah.
kind of, yeah. And it started
Finally, we've got onto the good stuff.
it started pouring down. And as a taller player, rain doesn't necessarily suit me. And I'm sitting there going, what a week to miss.
Yeah.
It's how good
worked
is
out.
this?
Everything's
This has
coming up,
worked out
Max.
so good. I'm sitting there with a cup of tea, breakaway, and we won as well, which is an amazing win. But yeah, we found a way to win. Our wet weather footy hasn't been great, to be honest, over the last couple of times we've played it. So to be able to, a team that's in form, they knocked off Collingwood by 50, I think, the week before. So to be able to get ourselves into the 8.
Yeah,
We
eighth
are
on
Yeah,
the ladder
we're
at the moment.
Okay, we're 8.
You
So we're
are
in the
all
8.
across it, as you said.
We are currently in the 8.
And that's why you're here. I love it. After the break, we're going to talk to you about a video that surfaced a couple of weeks ago. You're wearing the Triple M retro jacket, which is very nice, and something kind of disturbing, Wil Anderson, happened in the video. You liked it, though.
I did like some of it.
All right. We'll find out next. There was a great video that was on the AFL socials that you probably initially put up on your Instagram, Max. You riding a bike with your beautiful son, George.
Yep.
And the concerning part for Melbourne fans was he wasn't singing the Demons theme song.
No.
I think we've got the audio.
We are Nazareth, The team is rested down. Right on the team of Carlton town. Woohoo! The temperature young. Send up, get up. Oh, that's the
Wow.
And then he just stops. He just doesn't finish it off.
I mean, that's more times than you sang it, Daisy.
Yeah, correct. He knows more of the words than I do, which is a concern. But for Melbourne fans, are they slightly worried that he's interested in the wrong side?
He's interested. His favourite. He's got 4 teams he goes for currently. Carlton, Sydney, North Melbourne, and the Demons.
Oh,
Okay. How?
I don't know. And Charlie Curnow is his 5th team.
Well, the Blues caught wind of this and caught wind that you were coming in today. So they've actually provided
Okay, what do we
to
got?
take this home for the young fella.
I got a little parcel here. This is exciting.
I mean, this is good, Max, because normally when you get a little secret parcel from the Carlton Football Club, it's filled with cash. So,
We got a little Carlton jumper for George.
So they've been kind enough to put your number on it, not Charlie Curnow's, but his name down the bottom there
Who is
too.
11? Mitch McGovern?
Yeah.
I might get him to sign that and sell it.
If you're going to sell it, maybe don't get Mitch to sign it.
Who's an all-time number 11 for Carlton?
That's a good question.
Sorry, I
come
put
on,
you on the
Daisy,
spot
you
there.
studied all the history of Carlton
I
when you went
have,
over.
No, he knows all 18 songs, which is phenomenal.
Really?
Yeah, because
How old is he?
2.5. Yeah, so
Gee
it's
whiz.
we're slightly
Does he have a
worried about it.
favourite song? Is the Carlton song the favourite song, or like is he a GWS big,
Get
big
him into
sound?
The
Yeah.
way he listens, so we got like a little, when he's naughty or he's annoying us, there's a 20-minute YouTube clip of the song. So Adelaide's always first. And the way he punches out Adelaide is absolutely hilarious. So he likes Adelaide probably the most for songs, but he goes for Carlton.
I love the fact that to discipline your child, you make him listen to the Adelaide theme song.
Oh,
I feel like that's
Threatening.
been Brad.
Has that been a
been done
discipline before?
And then I'll get out Mike Brady's album. And you'll listen to that.
What about
and then
footy
Great Champion.
favourites?
They're still recovering from that Adelaide after the Richmond theme song on a bus or something, I believe.
He doesn't do it with a blindfold. I keep that
Does
off.
he have a power stance?
It was the round for Reach on the weekend in its 6th year, and it's honouring Jim Stynes, who started the foundation in 1994. I want to
Yeah,
say.
30 years. So early days, this round was called the Reach Round, which
Yeah,
if you
that's
say
not
that
good.
quickly, that's
No.
not good.
No, you can't call
So
it a
trying
reach
to rule
round.
that out of the AFL.
So
the
the
round
change
for Reach.
It's a much better name change. No, look, Jim. One of my bigger regrets in footy and in life, and not any fault of mine, is I don't know Jim when he was well. I only know Sick Jim, and Sick Jim was an incredible person for me. I walked in as a 17-year-old kid who didn't know what professionalism was, still struggling with it, but didn't really have an idea of what it was to be a footballer, what it was to be the best version of myself. And Jim just pinpointed that from the get-go, just knew that I was a kid that needed a bit of guidance, and he looked after me for 2 or 3 years while he was battling his own illness and president of the football club. And then, that legacy is now in Reach, and if we can bring some light to, I mean, it's a great program for those that don't know. It's young people mentoring other young people. I mean, it'd be great if us 4 went to a school, but a 15-year-old kid's not really relating to what we're going through in our life. But if you take a 16-year-old, 17-year-old mentor that's been trained up into those schools that can relate to those kids, and you get young kids being the best version of themselves, you get a much better world.
Is there one message from Jim or a chat you had with him that sticks vividly in your mind?
His motto was whatever it takes, which is, I mean, when you put it into his life, he was drinking his own urine to stay alive, to beat cancer. His whatever it takes was like way above what it needs to be able to play football. But I get to wear his number, which I'm very lucky, and I get to look at number 11 before I run out. Not the Mitch McGovern number 11, the Steinesy number 11, and I sit there and just go, whatever it takes. It's pretty easy for me out on the football field. Like, this guy was running a football club, had 2 kids and a family, and was battling cancer and a charity, and he put this motto in me of whatever it takes. I just got to go out there and have fun and play footy. So that's the main thing. And also, this is another one. I mean, I'm going on a little bit, but it's hard to play football out there in the G. It's even harder to be out there and be someone you're not. That's one that he put in. So go out there and be Max Gawn, because that'll be the best player you can be. Don't go out there and try and be Aaron Sandilands or Dean Cox that I was probably trying to be. Go out there and be Max Gawn, and that'll be the best version you can do.
How long are you going to be Max Gawn for is the big question that Matthew Lloyd has asked. So this is what Lloydie's had to say. He said, reminder to D's fans that you're not going to be around forever.
Okay.
I think he's got one more year in him of stardom, but I think he's a banged-up 32-year-old.
Wow.
How do you feel about that, Max? Are you a banged-up 32-year-old?
Yeah, I struggle. What is he? What is it? Footy Furnace or Footy Classified or
one of them?
It's one of the Channel 9.
Definitely a footy show.
Yeah, he they were sort of praising me 3 weeks ago, and now I'm banged up and retiring. So you can really get off. You can get off someone quickly on those shows.
I think greatest ever. 3 weeks ago.
I had a tough game up at the Gabba. He's one of the tougher opponents, Oscar McInerney, with the Sun, with the Heat, of Brisbane, and a cricket pitch in the middle. That's just a tough game, and I didn't play well that day. And then the next game was West Coast, and I got injured at half time. And I think he's going off the back of probably 6 quarters of evidence, and that's fair enough. Yeah.
Are you laughing a little bit at the fact that everybody who was calling for the Brodie Grundy trade to move on because it clearly wasn't working is now saying, it'd be nice if they had an extra ruckman?
It would be. I mean, I got injured last year for 3 weeks, and that worked out unbelievably to have Brodie. But I still thought me and Brodie were working at one point there, but he's obviously gone on to bigger and better things at the moment.
Can I ask you about world events, Max? When you're not playing, obviously footy on the weekend, do you have an eye on what's going on internationally? Do you see what happens to Donald Trump and take an interest in what's happening on the world stage?
It was a phenomenal Sunday morning. I sort of had the Today Show on in the background, which I don't regularly do on a Sunday morning. I am generation. I'm a millennial, so TV isn't really a strong point of ours.
What do you normally do on a Sunday morning?
Like a walk, go out, see the sun. No sun, so it was raining. So Today Show was on, and that popped into me. Popped into me algorithms the morning of Trump. It seems just all a little bit too.
Hang on.
Hold that
Conspiracy.
Daisy, you were on Rush Hour last week with Limo,
Yes.
and Max joined you.
We did, and we asked for a Christian Petracca update.
Yes.
For any of the Melbourne fans who didn't catch that, can you provide one on the Monday morning?
It's the same update. I haven't seen him since that day. When did I come in? Friday?
So you couldn't see him because of...
His immune system was down.
Yeah.
And he had a 3-4 people sort of list that could see him. And that was his wife and family.
You're not on that list.
Didn't get in, unfortunately.
Captain of the club, not on the list.
Didn't quite get in. I managed, there was a day between him being better and then his appendix going.
Oh, yeah.
There was a day there where you could see him, and I popped in on that day. But just a random, unrelated appendix injury at the same time as your spleen been injured. I think, again, conspiracies, that there's got to be something going on there.
Because we had you on just after 5 on Friday, but then at 6:30, this popped up on my Insta feed.
So my friends are coming over for taco night. I'm making a slow-cooked pulled pork.
So you're telling us he's got a low immune system and he can't have any visitors, and he's promoting the fact that he's got enough food for 35 people and his mates are coming over.
And tacos as well.
Not so low that he can't pull some pork.
He's having some spice. What I've learned with, and I don't want to debunk Track's Instagram and TikTok.
Hang on.
What I have
lead.
learned is
Insta truther.
sometimes they're not completely up to date.
What?
Yeah, he might have a little memory bank of pre-records that he
Rolling them
pants
out.
out
And I'd
every
be
now and
saying
then.
that too if I was the captain and didn't
Didn't
get
realise
invited.
this was media watch.
Well, I think there's holes in this one because there was, from what I'm told medically, is he had no one over for dinner. So there's holes in this one. But I'm not sure if you guys follow him on social. I love him on socials. He's
So good.
He's really good. He puts out good recipes as well.
Yeah, the recipes are really good. And it's good that he was having Mexican because I believe when the doctor said, we can take out your spleen and your appendix, and he said, why don't do both?
Now that is sharp.